Everybody panic. Literally after dropping the video I dropped yesterday with the previous rumors of the Russell Westbrook nonsense and him possibly being traded to the Clippers or the Knicks, then this report was dropped by Shams hours later. He officially spoke to the front office and the Rockets saying that he is not a fan of how things are being run and he wants out. Everyone obviously saw this and every Knicks fan looked at him and was like, oh God, it's happening, isn't it? But I tell you guys, please, please, please don't fret, because there are a lot of other signs that are pointing that he most likely will not be on his way to the New York Knicks. But guys, I gotta tell you, seeing this, it was a little bit worrisome, wasn't it? But I'm here to calm you guys down. It's okay. We should be all right. And also too, should we even be this critical about getting an MVP in Russell Westbrook? Let's talk about all that in the video, but let's run the intro. What's going on, CK Crew? Your boy CK2K here, and welcome back to another video. Yes, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and don't forget to like this video. And yes, I'm just gonna jump right into what happened. We saw the report break from Shams Charania talking about Russell Westbrook wanting out of Houston. First of all, can we just talk about how much of a mess the Houston Rockets are? They even had to clarify that James Harden is okay with the Rockets. I mean, there's also other rumors that were coming up later on that were trickling in between the mix, talking about James Harden possibly going to other teams, and the Nets were coming into all kinds of craziness. Those kind of rumors I'm throwing in the rest of the rumor mill, but this big news here by Shams talking about Russell Westbrook is huge. It's a big deal. Now, we talked about yesterday how in reports it was the Knicks and the Clippers that were spearheading a lot of the possibility of landing Russell Westbrook if there was a trade to be made. I try to tell you guys, don't worry, not gonna happen. In my last video, a lot of you guys were on the same page, and then once this rumor came out, I gotta even admit, even I was like, oh, this is gonna happen, isn't it? But no, I still believe that I don't think this is gonna happen. I mean, what he told, or from what Shams reported, what he told the Rockets organization is that basically, this is not word for word, but basically not a fan of what his role is with Houston, and he wants to go back to being what he was for Oklahoma City for a different team. And I don't blame him. I do believe he's the kind of guy that does need somebody next to him to succeed in the league. Mind you, I understand by himself he made MVP. He did make MVP when he had some help, but at the same time, I do see him as a guy that he wants to be the alpha male. He wants to take on that challenge, whether he wins or whether he fails. He wants that on his back, and he accepts that challenge. And that's the thing that attracts me the most about him being a Knick. If he were to go to get traded to the Knicks, who Russell Westbrook is as an athlete and as a competitor, that's what I would love for the New York Knicks, because you know that he would embrace everything that New York is, the lumps, the bumps, the bruises. He would be great for that. If it were to happen, if we were to make that trade, that's where I'm like, all right, cool, we got Russell Westbrook, let's run with it. But I still don't believe Russell Westbrook is on his way here, and I'm not saying I want Russell Westbrook here. Everything I said in the last video still stands. But that being said, like I said, Russell Westbrook wants to go to a team where he can be a lot like what he was for the Oklahoma City Thunder. And let's be real, if there is a trade to the Knicks, that's what it would be. He would be literally just the same thing, be Russell Westbrook and whoever else he got around him, depending on, we don't give up everything to get Russell Westbrook, which I would be surprised if we wouldn't have to give up a lot to get Russell Westbrook in the first place. But we did get another report from Shams that followed up everything that was said yesterday, making a lot of people feel a lot better.
The Hornets have emerged as a potential suitor for Westbrook. There have been a couple other teams that have been mentioned as a possibility for the one-time league MVP. But in Charlotte, there are movable veteran contracts, as well as the Jordan Brand connection for Westbrook.
This doesn't mean that they're the favorite, but hopefully we know that he is a Jordan Brand athlete, and Michael Jordan, who is the owner of the Charlotte Hornets, steps in and snags Russell Westbrook. So this is one thing that we don't have to worry about. I hate talking about him like this because Russell Westbrook, I am a Russell Westbrook fan. I do. I like him, but at the same time, I just feel like we'll be repeating the cycle again if we make this trade for Russell Westbrook. Yes, we get an all-star. Yes, we get talked about. Maybe we get some winning seasons, but then when Russell Westbrook either decides to leave or doesn't want to be a Knick anymore, anymore. We traded away all of our assets, and then once again, Russell Westbrook leaves. We grant that wish, and boom, the Knicks are left with nothing yet again. That's a trade that you're kind of scared to make, especially knowing what you would have to give up to get a guy like Russell Westbrook. So you're a little worried. Unless we get some kind of deal where you're not giving up that much, that's a different conversation. But I just find that very unlikely for someone who is still at the caliber at Russell Westbrook, who was just an MVP not but 2 or 3 seasons ago. Oh, well, this happened seconds ago. It literally happened about 5 minutes ago. But Bleacher Report reporting, again, rumor mill time, but I'm using this because I'm very curious. Victor Oladipo reportedly asked other teams, can I come play with y'all, in front of his Pacers teammates. It happened with the Raptors, Heat, and Knicks. Can we be left out of any rumor? I know we've had the rumors go around that Victor Oladipo and the Knicks had mutual interest, and there was a possibility of a trade taking place where Victor Oladipo comes to play with us. But this is funny to me. This is another one that's just funny to me. I just find it crazy that 1 year we're finding out that no player wants to play for the New York Knicks, which is understandable. But then the next year we're finding out that all these people want to be traded to the New York Knicks. I'm not buying that anymore. Now, mind you, this J. Michael guy is a Pacers insider and somebody that reports within the Pacers organization, someone like an Ian Begley or some sort that we have for the New York Knicks. But at the same time, I'm taking this with a grain of salt. I just find it so odd. I find it so odd all of a sudden that people want to play for the Knicks. I don't know. I'm not buying it. But the last update that I do want to kind of talk about is the possibility of us moving up in this year's draft. Now, I've been saying it in every single video that I am wholeheartedly expecting some kind of mix-up to happen with our organization in this draft. I just feel like with a lot of the signs going the way that they were going around certain players in this draft, that the New York Knicks are possibly going to be making a move up to snag one of these marquee, I use that word lightly in this draft, but one of these marquee prospects in the 2020 NBA draft next Wednesday. And with that being said, the rumor was dropped out yesterday. Teams like us, the Knicks, and the Chicago Bulls are among many teams that are linked to make a trade with the Warriors for that number 2 pick. Now, I saw this and I'm excited for it. If there's any deal to be made, I'm more cool with this deal, but then there's also that looming factor that this is not going to be something for free. We know the Warriors have no problem trading back, and they've been looking at players later on in the draft that they would love to bring on their team, like Onyeka Okongwu, somebody they will bring in. If Denny is available at wherever they pick at 8, 7, wherever they trade to, they would pick up Denny. Obi Toppin, like they want those kind of guys that they feel like will be there available later on in the draft. So why not get rid of a certain player with a certain contract while doing that along the way? And that player is Andrew Wiggins. So that, for sure, as exciting and as sexy as this is, that means that we are probably, if the Knicks make this trade, the Bulls make this trade, the Detroit Pistons make this trade, they're gaining number 2 overall pick along with the salary dump that is Andrew Wiggins. Now, Andrew Wiggins is on a very, very hefty contract himself. Now, mind you, this man, Andrew Wiggins, signed a huge 5-year, $147 million deal with the Minnesota Timberwolves 2-3 years ago. And that has not really panned out for Andrew Wiggins. Now, mind you, Andrew Wiggins is still 25, so there's still a chance and there's hope for this kid to turn his career around. He's shown signs in his last few years, but then he also shows signs that he just doesn't really give a damn about basketball. Crazy enough, he has averaged close to 20 points every year of his career, but it's like the most quiet or most unhelpful 20 points that you could ever see from a player. But the thing is, he is owed still another, $90 million left on his contract. And of those teams that are looking to make this second pick, the Knicks are the team that can afford that contract. They're the team that can eat that contract because we have cap space. So although yes, this is probably something that you don't want to do, I know Andrew Wiggins is probably showing who he is right now, and we don't need any more of those players. Do the Knicks make that gamble to possibly get that second pick and possibly pick up either a LaMelo Ball or an Anthony Edwards that can, also help this team move forward, and hope that maybe somewhere down the line they can either find someone else to flip this contract with, or just eat it for the next 3 years, because the Knicks aren't going to be doing anything in 3 years anyways. And those are conversations that I'm truly scared of, but at the same time, a little bit more okay with. Like I said, Andrew Wiggins is going to be 25 this year, or is 25 for this season, and he's still technically in the place where he can turn his career around. Hell, we're talking about Kyle Kuzma possibly being a third star for the Los Angeles Lakers. That dude is 27 years old. I know he's only played the league for so many years, but Kyle Kuzma is definitely past 25, and we're giving him a chance, and he's out here trying to get big money. Sorry, Kuz, you ain't 27. You're 25 too, but you get what I'm trying to say. You 25, played less years than you guys get what I mean. You get what I mean. But then that runs the question that I'm gonna leave to you guys. Would you rather the Knicks go on and make any kind of trade for like a Chris Paul or Russell Westbrook, bringing in their hefty contracts for us, hoping that we can get this all-star right now that can turn the team around, but possibly gut what we have, or make probably a lighter move where it just will take our 8th pick and one player, or our 8th pick and maybe one of our Mavericks first round picks to pick up the 2nd overall pick and Andrew Wiggins' contract. To be real with you, if a choice is going to be made, and if I can do the 2nd pick and I still get the 27th and the 2nd round pick, like, I'm eating that Andrew Wiggins contract for the next few years. He's 25 years old. I understand it. It probably takes us out of the running for any of the other free agents, but you know where I stand on that. I'm not one to be trying to get in this free agent pool anymore. We're not there. We have to treat this team like a small market organization. We are not the New York Knicks that we think we are. We're not going to be splashing in the free agency pool like we've seen. Maybe this year might be different. Maybe because of Fred VanVleet. Who knows? Maybe we're able to get us a Christian Wood. Cool, but we're not going to be in those free agency pools until teams can come to the Knicks and know that the Knicks are actually putting out something that is trying to win. So with that being said, I'd rather make the move, pick up a LaMelo Ball or Anthony Edwards who can be a part of our future, to build with RJ Barrett, to build with Mitchell Robinson, to build with whoever else that's younger on our team. Build with our younger guys along with like an Andrew Wiggins or whatever, and we just keep the ball rolling in the development side. We brought in the coaching staff and the front office that we brought in for a reason. So to me, it just makes the most sense, if there's any trade to be made, that we do this. But there's also the very simple answer: don't make no damn trades at all and just go forward with drafting how we got it and go into free agency and just pick up pieces here and there to slightly build up our team. There's so many different scenarios that we can run on this, but I have to ask you guys. And I'm actually going to leave the video on this one. I know I normally do comments in the video, but there's so many things that I put in this video that I really just want to see what you guys will say. And I'll read your comments in the next video. So that being said, comment time. I have 3 scenarios for you guys. Scenario 1, do we ultimately make this crazy big trade that's going to bring us an all-star MVP in Russell Westbrook, and hope that he is enough to attract other free agents to come to the New York Knicks and possibly make us a playoff team down the line, knowing that that could potentially be a lot like the Carmelo Anthony deal, where we give up a lot, have a good team for a few years, and then be right back where we are in a hole where we have no assets to do anything with the future. Just putting that out there, giving you both sides. Scenario 2, we make a slightly lesser deal for a more expensive older point guard in Chris Paul, where we could potentially get a lot out of our younger guys along with Chris Paul. We might give up 1 or 2 of our younger pieces, like a Kevin Knox or maybe even Franklin Ntilikina or Dennis Smith Jr., or maybe we don't have to do any of that. It would be a lesser deal for a bigger contract for an older player as well, but I feel like we get a lot more out of Chris Paul. So there's a plus to this, and I feel like Chris Paul could be the beginning of the Knicks being back to a good space, similar to what he did in Oklahoma City. So that's another scenario that we could do. Scenario 3 is this one right here, getting the 2nd overall pick, knowing that we will possibly, most likely, be getting the salary dump of Andrew Wiggins along with the deal. So something probably like the 2nd overall pick and Andrew Wiggins for the 8th pick, and I don't know, put any player that you want. It won't be Julius Randle because they're not going to swap money for money, even though Julius Randle's contract's not as bad. But it'll probably be something like a Kevin Knox and the 8th overall pick, or 8th overall pick and our 2nd round pick, or the 8th pick and the Mavericks pick for next year. It can be something around those lines, but the point is we're going to be taking the salary dump, and I'm sure that they will be willing to not be trying to take too much away from us because we're taking a lot of money off of their books. Would you take on that deal of Andrew Wiggins for the next 3 years to get the 2nd overall pick that could either be Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball, or James Wiseman? Or the last scenario, that is the one that we're on track to right now, doing absolutely nothing, draft the players we draft at the spots that we're at, hopefully pick up somebody that can, help us move the Knicks from here to right here in free agency, like a Fred VanVleet, Christian Woods, Davis Bertans, whoever it may be. Which one do you pick? I just gave you 4 different scenarios. If you missed the scenarios, play them back and read the scenarios again. Let me know which ones you're going with in the comments below. If you made this far in the video, let me know in the comment section by adding Knicks Madness, hashtag Knicks Madness, so I know what your choice is. And in the next video, I'm gonna go through some of my favorite and we'll put those in the comments of the video for tomorrow. Normally we do 3, I'll do a little bit more because I'm very curious to hear what you guys have to say about those scenarios. All right, for your boy Chris, everybody relax, breathe. We're almost done, okay? Next week is draft week and free agency starts right after that, okay? We just gotta make it to Wednesday, okay? Breathe. Be your boy CK. You know the deal. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and don't forget, if you want to be a part of the movement, if you want to help the channel grow, hit that join button, become a CK crew member. But until the next video, I'll see y'all later. Let's get it. Catch you guys in the next one. I'm out, and peace.
Feeling like I won the lotto. Always taking trips with a new chick, asking where the time goes.